Yo, what's up, guys? Seiishizo here, and my voice is getting worse. I've been shouting too much these days. As you can see here in the background, still in Korea, still in the hostel. I had to do my proper setup again, which is on Instagram, showcasing a bunch of teams, mainly aiming for the team that I would like to showcase, which is the Nephthys team. I kind of used it last time as well, but I kind of misplayed it. But then again, it's into server, so you're using a whole bunch of more teams as well, other teams. Reason I actually S3 here is because my Gianna is on Despair, which I think in offense for Siege and those kind of things, Gianna on Despair is probably the best way to go for. So yeah, pretty easy, pretty easy. This team is just very easy the moment stuff lands. It is hard nerfed by having a lot less rotation than it used to be, but I actually improved it by making the Rogue doing more damage. And this is one of those teams, like I used it once and I was like, hey, wait, this actually works really well. This is one of those teams that no one can really copy, but this is where you can keep in mind, like, pretty much the units both on the left and the right are not the most meta used units. And I think Siege offense, in general, Siege or offense things, you can play a lot more around with units that might be not the most meta, but still work really well. Because this team actually nearly never failed. Like, I think it never actually failed. Like, as long as I outspeed it, this whole team is properly fast. Even with like semi-inconsistent strips, there's like a backup strip. And the moment you have a backup strip, it's good. The more I talk, the more I notice that my voice is getting really fucked up in here. Oh man, long days, long days. Let's call it that way. So yeah, and then this team is just love. I just love this team. This team is so super solid. Even if this team goes all the way to shit, Lima's a great bruiser, and as you can see, Dominic literally 1v5 something in the previous video. But maybe that was more proc related than anything. But then again, there's not that many units, even with those with those that many proc. Is that how to English? That's not how to English. Doesn't matter. No, doesn't matter. But yeah, with all of that said, that goes pretty nice, pretty fast. Gotta hit them damages. Dominic is such good damage. Very good damage. And then the last round, this is the one and only Nephthys team. Currently, this is really weird. Like, that thing is like 75 AC. It was resisted 4 times in a row. Either how. Runes for these units, I'm not showcasing it in this video because I just forgot to record it, more or less. But they're all around like 300 speeds. And they are all swift blade or swift focus or those kind of things, and then high additional damage from artifacts. That's the main thing. Accuracy for CP is 85, and for Ken it's like 75. So then going in for the second hit against this one, this was a global guild, Sinfully Deep. That was the thing. Perfect. Again, I love my Tiana stuff. I really want more Tianas. If I wasn't going for more for the summoning stone rotations, I would definitely summon for dupe Tianas. That's most likely the most interesting thing that I could summon for. Even if shit goes down to drain, Tiana clears that shit. It's amazing. This was actually pretty fun. You don't see too many Kens on defense, but I think Ken on defense is not that bad. It's kind of niche, but in a team like this, I feel like it's not that bad at all. Of course, if you outspeed it and you cleave it, then it's pretty dead, but I feel like it's totally not a bad team. I want to do the chop chop. No chop chop. Just a single chop. Rogue is one of those super RNG units. If he goes, Rogue goes. Okay, this is one of those teams, like normally I use this team in the sense where I do not get outsped, and therefore I use it. In this case, I kind of expected the CP to, or then the other one, Joe Gun to outspeed me as well. And I could have been slightly more tricky, but in the end, if he doesn't, it's pretty easily, actually. Even with scroll trap, doesn't really matter. You just kill shit. Seiana does good damage. I really feel like Seiana is a good unit. The only issue is that the S3 does too little. The S2 is very good, but the S3 is like a really weak Poseidon version of it. So I think it's one of those units, one buff away from being insanely good. But until then, she's just kind of mediocre. And this monkey, is actually just a support. He barely does any damage. That's the main issue with that monkey. You cannot make him do damage. I tried everything. Crit rate bolts, crit damage bolts, high attack bolts, high HP bolts. Everything he just hits like a wet noodle. So yeah, that unit is, unless you're okay with a unit being in the slot to just stun and armor break and potentially somewhat strip, and even having then inconsistent stunts, then that could be the unit for you. But I feel like the monkey is not that great, but in that team, he kind of specifically fits his role, and therefore he becomes good. I would say he's good. And then again, it's just also nice to use the LDs you have. Like, nothing worse than having a bunch of LDs and everything's like, oh, they are sitting in storage. Always sucks, always sucks. So I tried to make all my LDs work. And this is where we have the Ken team again. Ken team is actually also based off that I kind of expect some units to be off will. In this case, S3 didn't strip Jack's shit again, but S2 did. So yeah, if you go S3, S2, it's very likely you will actually strip most to all units. This was actually a very tanky Shiner Martina, which you don't see too much these days. But even with that, you still do quite some damage with these crit rate bolts. Because yeah, all three of them are crit rate slot 4s on Swift. So this does a good amount of damage on add damage kind of stuff. So yeah, not bad, not bad. And zoop, he's dead. Easy wins. So then, second one I recorded, I just want to add it in right away. This is actually the guild of Big V, or at least Big V is in this guild. And this is also the guild where FH is in, so pretty much the whole bunch of Chinese guys that are insanely high ranked. So let's see what kind of LDs we can't revive. Ha, right. So yeah, what kind of LDs we can hit on. So this one, I decided to go for an S3 right away because of the Tian Lang, but that Tian Lang looks kind of unruined, and that makes this defense really weak. Guys, keep in mind, if you do inter-server, you have to keep your units ruined. 17k per hit is very good on armor break branding for the Ken. Ken does good damage. Ken is, I really feel like Ken is an underrated unit. This one was somewhat tricky because I knew that Miles would hella outspeed me. But once again, I think that unit on the left, which I'm pretty sure about right now, is freaking ruined. Boys, ruin your shit on your inter-server. It does kind of make sense to a certain degree that if you're doing Siege tournament that you might forget something because you're switching runes and that kind of stuff, but your guild is gonna love you for it if you actually pay attention to what kind of stuff is ruined, isn't ruined for your inter-server. At least if your guild does care about the inter-server. I feel like the inter-server rewards are kind of lackluster. Let me know in the comments what do you guys think, because it takes a really fucking long time, even with the highest ranks, to get those ancients or ancient legendary whatever stones shit thingies. Plus the summoning stones rotations are shit. Like where more? Where more? They have been adding more new good units, but not more. But they put Nora in and they put Tomu in first time, I guess. But yeah, it's still, currently it takes like upwards of like 2 years for a new unit to show up in the rotation, which is just absolutely rockery. It takes fucking forever. Uh-oh, is this team dying? Is this team dying? Nah, Lima OP. We don't need them. Lima has 1 damage, is pretty good as well. Even 2.4k is on the monkey, so that has some damage reduction. So it's not too bad. But yeah, what do you guys think about like the rewards from inter-server? Also, there's no like really, I think they're going to do seasons on it as well. So currently Mali is #1. I think Troublemaker's #2 if I'm not mistaken. Will they at some point, I hope they will do something like, okay, we have like seasons like in Siege, and then at the end of the season something specific happens, or you have to be a specific rank, or you get a specific final reward or anything like that. Would be interesting, I think. I also started to like Coco a lot. Coco does a shit ton of fucking damage. That is so much Coco damage. I was also a pretty tanky Rakan though. Too bad that the Eladriel didn't cut, because then I could have armor broken the other one as well, which you can't in this case. But still, we're pretty good. We're pretty good. We're pretty fine. Unleash the fury. This was, not to look at it, doesn't look like the best offense I could think of, but I probably did this somewhere in between-ish, somewhere that was like, gotta do this. Which happens most of the time. Well, I did this hit during traveling. Did I? Yeah, pretty sure I did. So, yeah, should be good, should be good. Zoop, zoop, zoop. That figure's doing good damage too. Killing them Rakons. Attack buff does really hurt that unit though, really badly. And not killing that also kind of hurts. But there we kill it. But still collapse. Can we kill it? It's pretty easy to kill. You know what's gonna happen. Coco just cleans up that shit. But was this the best of teams? Not really. I also not really used Vigor in a long time, to be honest. But Vigor's still a very good unit. I do tend to like, if you use Vigor for offenses, I tend to like him on like a crit rate, crit damage build rather than going high HP stuff. Because surviving is nice for defense and then you can do damage from additional damage and shit, but for offense, it's pretty nice to just have him do damage. So then we're fighting the man himself, Mr. Big V, so I expect quite some good stuff of his runes. I've seen some of his runes and he got some real nice stuff, so let's see how the defense of Big V are. I'm not sure about this defense with the Rakan in the middle though. We tried a lot of Nana Narsha options in Doubt as well, but I'm not sure if Rakan is the best. Of course, like if you grow in it, like nothing really works in the middle, but I think some other options might be better. So then going in with the Shoryuken that actually never lands. I'm pretty fucking sure it was 75 freaking accuracy on this build. That thing never landed anything. I should maybe recheck if it's actually 75, but I'm pretty sure it fucking was. Oh well. Good thing the other units also do quite some damage. Nephthys S1 can do quite some damage. S2 as well, but I think S1 technically has a higher multiplier. It doesn't armor break, but it technically has a higher multiplier than the combined multiplier of the S2. But yeah, I'm liking this team. This is definitely a team I will keep in my normal rotation and keep using. So, and same as this team. This team I keep liking. I'll keep it in my rotation. It works. It's clean. Like that's the thing. At some point, if you have a to-go team, which just works, keep using it. Like by all means, keep using it. But also the other way around. Let's say you have a team that you keep using, but it actually doesn't really work, like my Sierra Tiana bro kind of team. Maybe you should stop using it. But I haven't found like a good replacement stuff kind of thing that I want to replace it with. Against Mollies, this team is also a lot more tricky than any other way, I would say, because Mollies are annoying. Like if you miss stuff, like mainly the pushbacks, or it procs out, or it gives shields, it takes a little while to kill. And the man, Big V, he has good runes, so it's hard to bruiser people with good runes. But then again, Monkey procs a little bit, and then stuff also goes down. Mollies are just annoying. Molly is a good annoying unit. I think that will never change, that Molly is a good annoying unit. Well, Molly was nerfed at some point. I'm not exactly sure what they nerfed, maybe some of the healing or some shit. But Molly used to heal. Yeah, I think Molly used to heal more. Can you imagine? Like, she just took 2 turns and she pretty much went full HP. Imagine that unit was healing more in the past. Hey, unit broken. Well, good thing they nerfed that. And chop chop. Going into the next, a Shiner Martino. Always, this is my super tricky let's go team. Or is it super tricky though? Yeah, if the enemy procs a little bit like that, living on the edge, living on the edge. Totally nothing wrong here, totally nothing wrong here. We're completely freaking fine. Please do not proc for the love of God. We are completely fucking fine. Yes sir, totally the proc we needed and deserved. Maybe, ouch, 40k, ouch. That hurts. So now we have S1 up, so we rather freaking kill. That goes for that. That thing did a lot of damage, so probably is not that tanky, but like I said, Big V, good runs. I hella sack this match. Because that thing did some good stuff. Very close, should not use that. Same as this team, should not really use this team. But then again, it's a fun team. I want to do fun teams. This Tiana, always nice. If it lands, it's shit. It's just very good. That was actually, I think this whole team is built to counter, what's it called, Lucians, because the S1 didn't do that much damage on Asher, so it's probably damage reduction. But yeah, that was actually pretty freaking fast clear, not gonna lie. So yeah, that was my final hit for this. Hope you enjoyed the video. Hope to see you in the next one. I'll be making a whole bunch more content the moment I come back to the Netherlands, which is going to be the 21st of November. Until then, guys, thanks for watching. See you later.